Hello and welcome to the McAdams Comlink. I'm Oceana. This is Echo.
Hello.
Usually we would have Abby here. There was a last minute interference, so she will be in a separate recording, but you will still hear her thoughts. It will just sound a little stitched together. So we're gonna start with. I should probably explain this, huh? We are going to be going through Transformers Prime episode by episode and talking about each one as we go along. So today we are starting with episode 1, Darkness Rising Part 1. I have the description from IMDb, which is a teenage fast food employee and his two friends are inadvertently dragged into an intergalactic robot war. Unfortunately for the teenagers, they get involved in the war just in time for Megatron's return. Do these children know each other? I feel like they don't.
I just watched the first episode, and this is the first time I've seen it, so there's no prior bias. They definitely had no idea who each other are. Like, one of them is obviously a teenage guy, one of them is what
Right.
looks like an elementary school student, and the last one is a teenage girl who definitely didn't know the other two.
No, it's so weird that it's like, they're friends. What do you mean? They have just met each other now.
Yeah, I didn't really get that, but my notes are funny. So there's that.
Originally aired November 26, 2010, which honestly, the animation for this is really good for it being 2010,
It's good.
and a rating of 7.5 out of 10.
That's valid.
The first thing I want to start with is just first frame. The landscape that we open to kind of looks like Jesus's ascension.
Oh, I mean, okay.
Do you know what I mean?
I'm not, yeah, I'm not gonna say you're wrong there. I just wasn't expecting that to be the first thing. Sorry if my voice sounds weird. I have been on tea for 2 months, so I now sound like a 13-year-old boy
Don't worry about it. Honestly, I've sounded like a 13-year-old boy for a few years now.
your entire life. That's so rude, I'm sorry.
You're fine. Honestly, 5-year-old me walking around. Hi there. Actual opening, we have Cliffjumper and Arcee having a conversation about the multitude of traffic violations he keeps committing. My question is, how often are you getting parking tickets for this to be considered, quote, another parking ticket?
I don't know. I mean, more than one is the logical answer. Uh, but the
Fair enough.
disappointment in her tone makes me want to think that he's gotta have at least 5.
I mean, it's not like they can pay the tickets
Right,
because their license plates don't exist unless they have to get one when you scan a vehicle. That'd be weird.
yeah, I don't know how that works.
It's not like it can run your plates and figure out where you live.
Right, like, there's not a human in there that owns the car because the car is
Right. It's
alive.
not like they can put I live in the missile silo that's abandoned. Like,
Right. Is that what they live? Is that what that place is?
yeah, they refer to it as an abandoned missile silo, which it
Great.
just looks like a rock, but okay. I get that it's hidden,
Yeah,
but you live under a rock, essentially.
w like a bug.
Like a bug. Yeah. I love that they chose the most Texas looking car for Cliff Jump.
I my first you wanna know what my first note is?
Yes.
My first note is why is his name Cliff Jumper? Because everybody else has, like, valid robot names. Like, Arcee, robot name. Ratchet, robot name. Even Bumblebee is a good robot name. Cliff Jumper, that literally makes me think it's a specialized dragon that jumps off cliffs. I fully just said that because I thought of Cloud Jumper from How to Train Your Dragon.
That is so fair. Unfortunately, Cliffjumper is not the weirdest name in this franchise.
Does RC stand for anything? Like, is there anything else?
No, her name is spelled Arcee.
That's weird. Am I allowed to swear?
Yes.
Is that a thing?
Yes.
Okay, great.
The fact that they use a Longhorn car, like, the do you know what I mean? I don't know what that car's actually called, but
Yes, a car with horns on it. Like, that's like Texas frat boy to me.
which is kind of
Like,
the vibes he
rich
gives off.
Texas frat boy.
Yeah.
And he immediately dies, and that's the funniest thing to me.
We'll get there.
Sorry.
But no, you're good. You're good. But he's talking to RC about his ticket, and at some point he's talking about the fact that he got, booted,
Right.
and says he kicked off his shiny new shoe. I'm like, did you transform in the middle of New York City?
Right? That's what I was thinking.
Is the military having to tell people, oh, don't worry, it's a like movie set or a mass hallucination?
Does the military know they exist?
Yeah, that's why they have the abandoned missile silo.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, they're being hidden by the military. I try not to spoil things, but also that's gonna be kind of just easy to make this stuff make sense.
Oh, well.
Don't worry, I haven't told you their babysitter's name. It's okay. You'll find out.
Oh, they have a babysitter? That's so funny.
Essentially, is what I'm calling him.
Ooh, let's give these sentient robot cars a babysitter. Are they children?
Oh. But yeah, no, he's just like low profile. Who's that? I've never heard of her. I'm just gonna transform in the middle of New York City.
Like, the way I think of it is because I had that thought too, and then I was like, if it's just one cop that's standing there, anyone who the cop tells is immediately gonna think the cop is, like, straight up on drugs, like, on acid, because
Right.
if it's just one person seeing that, nobody's going to believe them, because that's how humans work.
Exactly. The other thing I thought of is he could have like just partially transformed just the one wheel so it snapped. Just like
Right.
just one arm and then ha. And then you could probably, gaslight yourself into thinking, no, that car didn't have an arm. The thing just broke, I guess. I don't know.
That just didn't happen. It just
Right?
didn't happen. You block it out.
It's easier to believe that cars don't have arms.
Insane. Yes.
Funniest foreshadowing we get. Do I ever need backup? Yeah, dude, you do. You're gonna
He
die.
immediately dies
You're
after
gonna die.
that.
You're
Literally,
gonna want that backup, dude. Do I ever need well, obviously.
my notes. Why is his name Cliff Jumper? What the fuck is a Decepticon? What the fuck is Energon? Bro got blown up. Bro's getting his ass kicked. Ooh, pointy evil villain. Bro's being all edgy. Ooh, red guy died. Those are my first notes. Like, you can't say, no, I don't need backup.
So, first question you had, what is a Decepticon? Do you mean, like, do you wanna
I get it now because I watched
okay,
the rest of the episode.
okay,
But when I was literally 20 seconds into the episode, I didn't know what a Decepticon was, so I wrote it down.
fair enough. I noticed that so when the Decepticon ship opens to just, I guess, drop, just like pairs. what frick, what are they called?
I don't know. I don't know anything.
Military people who parachute. What the frick is that called? Whatever,
Para-rescue?
those guys. I'm gonna think of
Para-rescue?
it.
Maybe?
Something like that. Like that, except you don't get a parachute, you just get to
You
fall.
just yeah, like Bucky when he jumps out of the I'm sorry, I'm obsessed with Marvel, it's a problem, I need help.
Don't worry about it. But I noticed that when the ship I noticed that when the ship opens, it kind of looks like a Trojan helmet does.
Like a what
I
what?
don't know why. A Trojan helmet. Do you know how, like, they're shaped where it's like the eyes and then it narrows to, like, just a small bit in front of the mouth?
That's a great explanation. No, I will look it up. Trojan helmet. Bart, what the heck? A clip art. Oh, yes, yes, I understand.
Yeah.
I get
I
it.
don't know why I noticed that, but I was just like, "Oh, that looks like a Trojan helmet." Like,
I
whatever.
did not get that at all, but I wasn't paying that much attention, nor was I thinking about Trojan helmet.
So that's fair. I can't explain how my brain works, it just does.
It's okay.
Mhm.
I know how your brain works.
I just read one of my notes. It's like, "Suddenly he wants backup." Under that, "The wife is always right."
Oh, yeah, I kinda got that vibe.
That's kind of the vibes. Yeah. Just the, "Oh, I don't need directions," and then you get lost
Right.
in, like, an hour away from home. It's like,
I yell at my dad for that. Yeah, that was kinda funny. I love how, like, nobody really was sad when he died. Like, I get that they're robots, but they're clearly humanoid robots. Like, I mean, they did the whole circle talk
they
thing.
were sad, it's just it shows in different ways.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know the
Yeah.
characters that well.
The grief definitely shows itself a bit more as we go through. It's a pretty big thing, but, I mean, you gotta think about the fact that they've been fighting a war for, like, millions of years. At some point, you get a little desensitized to it.
That's so sad.
It is, especially when you're, you know, as old as Ratchet or Optimus, who's, like, frickin' just tired of this shit. We then get Arcee saying, uh, "Hey, Cliff Trooper's being stupid and about to die. Can we go help him?" Right?
Mhm,
And all of the team members are out in different places. The problem is there's no one there to ground bridge you all back. This seems like a bad plan
mhm, mhm.
because now you have to drive back.
Yeah, their strat isn't optimized, I guess I would say. Like, I mean, that's the typical thing in media where you have a team. You have one person who's the researcher, you have one person who's the fighter, you have, all this type of stuff, like D&D party type shit.
Right.
But they like fully I mean, I saw that a little bit, but it's also like they're all kind of the fighters. Like Ratchet clearly had the more technical stuff, and the big beefy green guy clearly had a lot of the fight power, and Optimus is just large. But there's a lot less, at least that I noticed in the first
Yeah.
episode, like specialized character
Yeah.
like places that they
More
succeed. I don't
often,
know the words for that.
it's weird because usually Ratchet is the one who stays at the base because he's the medic and he usually is manning the ground bridge. It's just weird that they were like, "Okay, we're all gonna go scouting at the same time. This can't go wrong." By themselves.
By themselves,
Just by
not like
themselves.
in pairs or anything. How many of them are there? Are there 6? Do I know how to
It
do
depends on
math?
if you are counting Cliff Jumper.
He's dead now, so obviously
He's dead
not.
now. So, 5.
Is he dead dead, or is he coming back to life?
No, he's, like, dead dead.
Okay, that's what I assumed. This didn't seem like a resurrection show, but
So, there is something weird that happens in the next few episodes, but that is we're gonna leave that to watch.
I'll learn.
Um,
I'll learn.
my other question with that scene was they send Ratchet, who is literally the oldest member of the team, to the place that's snowing.
Oh, bro's got creaky old knees. He shouldn't go there. Send the
Right? Like,
fucking the big green guy. I don't know his name. I'm so sorry.
you're good. Bulkhead.
Bulkhead. Send that guy. I don't know.
You're gonna send the oldest car as someone who has a older car. Older cars become bastards in the cold.
Yeah. Yeah, my dad's car, it doesn't like to work in the cold, and it's pretty old.
When I drive over speed bumps and it's
Mhm.
chilly in the morning, it sounds like the springs in my car are about to snap. Like they creak so badly.
I would cry. I would sit there and cry. I don't like scary noises. Can I ask you a question? You have all the questions lined up, but I wanna ask you a question.
Go for it. Go for it.
Why is Optimus Wu from Ninjago? Why are they the same person?
Oh my gosh. That that is so true.
Literally, the first time I saw Optimus, my note, word for word, is Optimus is fucking Wu from Ninjago. That's what it is. And then when we got the whole storyline,
Uh
like,
emotionally distant.
yes, we got the whole storyline, like, that Optimus and what's his name? Megatron? Is that his name?
Mhm.
Are were like brothers or whatever, and then Megatron lost his way. I was like, Megatron is Garmadon. This is Ninjago. I am watching Ninjago.
Exactly. That's kind of what it is, I'm
But
not gonna
it's not
lie.
really Ninjago.
I mean,
Like, the whole circle talk thing where Optimus was like, "Losing Cliffjumper was an opportunity to better ourselves and defeat the Decepticons." I'm like, "Dude,
yeah,
dude, you're literally from Ninjago."
I think he was more saying just like, "We can't allow this to cloud our judgment," but yes, very similar,
Right.
long-winded,
Yes.
uh, s stuff like freaking speeches. I can talk.
No, you can't. I also can't. I was questioning why you wanted to do a podcast when we're both terrible at speaking, but it's fine.
It's fine. Cliffjumper makes the dumbest decision, which is to shoot at the Decepticons, who then shoot back at him with the Energon right behind him. The very volatile and explosive Energon.
Yeah, I don't know
Did we
what
think this
he
through?
was thinking. No,
I don't think he was.
he didn't. He's clearly the dumb one. Like, the name like
Yeah.
Cliffjumper, you're not gonna be smart.
Oh, that's true. And then we get to Starscream, who's like, the Energon, it's worthless to me now. But with the animation and the angle, it looks like he's smiling, and it's so weird.
Listen, that guy again, I go back to my note, "Ooh, pointy evil villain." Like, I don't know if you've seen any of Miraculous Ladybug. I've seen a little bit of it, but it literally just reminded me of that guy, the villain in that. Like, "Oh, it's that guy."
Moth.
Yeah, that's his name.
Oh, you're not wrong. He's just Starscream is a lot less dignified and put together.
Oh,
This
so
is
you're
what
saying
part.
he's a hot wreck.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
He seems like an evil henchman who is power tripping and is not handling it well.
Yes.
That's kind of the vibe I got.
You are pretty spot on. My other note is why does he stand like that? He stands like almost crouched over and then he has like the autism hands. Do you know what I mean? We all do it.
T-Rex arms, yeah, yeah.
Yes. I I just think of them now as the autism hands.
Maybe he's autistic. Maybe he's autistic, we don't know.
His
Is he
special
a
interest is
conscious
power.
robot that probably yeah, autism with the sign of power? That's funny. I kinda thought that about B. I was like, "B doesn't talk. He's just a little guy." Like, he's me for real.
Oh, the doesn't talk reason is gonna be you're gonna find that one
One of my
out.
notes is, "Can B talk?" Aggressive amount of question marks.
No, and you will
But no, he
find out
can't.
why later, and
I mean, he doesn't have a mouth. Like, there's no mouth there.
so he does. It's a mask.
Oh.
I'm just gonna tell you the reason he doesn't talk is not a happy one, and that's where I'm gonna leave it.
Ooh, ooh, yay, trauma.
Yay!
But he's gonna be my favorite, isn't he?
Yes, yes, he will. So Cliffjumper,
Okay.
uh, freaking dies, gets shanked
Right.
by freaking Starscream's hand.
Literally has his heart ripped out.
Yeah.
That's what I understood. It's not intimate and sexy at all. I'm so sorry.
Cliffjumper then lands like a stereotypical dead guy, like the way you stage die.
I mean, like, he's dead. He's a robot. There's gonna be some weight there. I don't know.
Oh, I don't mean the falling. I mean the fact that he lands with like one arm up, one arm back, and like just like it's the way that you fake being dead.
Oh, I understand. Because,
Yeah.
like, it's a kid show. They gotta show the kids that he's dead, I guess. I don't know. I don't know what people think when they think of portraying autonomous robot death.
That's fair. This is the first time, as you will find out, that Starscream has not talked himself into failure
Ooh,
because he rambles so much that he usually talks himself into absolutely screwing everything up.
he's autistic.
Honestly,
Like,
he might be. I'm starting to believe this. The Autobots show up just a little bit late, just
just
a
a
bit.
tad. I love how they're like, we get the candid shot of them all just standing there looking at the blown up crater. They're like, no, the Energon. Not like, oh, our dead friend.
Well, they don't know he's dead in that moment. Oh, um, love that like each of them have a little unique way that they come out of the ground bridge. My personal favorite is Ratchet lands and then immediately is like he brings his fists up and back like come at me.
Like, what? Say that last part again?
So he brings his fists kind of up towards his chest and then back down, kind of the way you'd set your stance.
Oh, okay. I understand. Interesting. One of my notes is literally, why is B so little?
He is the youngest.
That would be why.
According to some of the, like, showrunners, he'd be about apparently, he'd be, like, early 20s-ish.
Oh, so he's like a child fighting a
Yeah,
war
yeah.
that came millions of years before him. Hello, trauma. Wow.
There's a lot of theories that, in this version, he might have just been found as so, quick thing, Transformers can have small children. It's a whole thing, and we will get to that another time, but their babies are called sparklings. They're small.
Got it.
Anyways, there's a lot of theories that, like, one of the Autobot battalions just found the child in, like, ruins and were like, "Can we keep it?" Like, military adopts the child.
That is. That's horrifying for that poor child. Um, but at least he's not alone anymore.
I just find it hilarious that, like, you have all these war veterans now having to take care of a small child who has no regard for safety
Right, because it's a child. Like,
because it's a child, and children have no regard for their own lives.
of course not, because they don't have any concept of life or death. They're just like, "Ooh, I'm a guy. Let me run around and stab myself." That was me as a child. I don't know if that's how other people experience life.
I mean, that bumblebee,
Yeah. What were you gonna say?
I was talking about the fact that you stepped on a bee as a kid, but, you know,
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I didn't even get that. I'm a little bit stupid.
you're good. I realized when I said bumblebee, I was like,
I was
"Frick."
like, "Ah, yes, Bumblebee the robot, and not the bee that I stepped on," as and
Yep.
screamed, and your mom thought I got hit by a car, but it was just a bee.
Optimus then lands so dramatically. Like, we are 2 steps away from an Iron Man landing.
Yeah, he's a drama queen. Like, I fully Woo from Ninjago, that he's Woo from Ninjago. I'm never gonna let go of that parallel, no matter what happens.
No, no, never do.
And, like, Woo is a drama queen. He hides it well, but he is a drama queen.
It's this whole thing of like, "Oh, primes are just, so stoic." Did you see that landing? Not dramatic,
You're
like,
just you're just large. You're
just
not
large.
special, you're just large. I don't know how primes work.
That'll be discussed also later, but to give a general idea, it's kind of like a military prophet. Is that kind of how it works?
Okay, I kind of understand what you're saying.
Like if a prophet was chosen so he could lead.
The military.
Yes.
Got it. Can he see the future? Is he psychic or is he just, like, fancy?
So I mean prophet in the way that like he's what they called it? Uh divine,
Divine intervention, divine instruction, I don't know what you're trying to say.
like when kings would say I'm king because God says I'm king. What the frick is that called?
Oh, fuck. Shoot. Oh, I know this. I know the answer
Uh,
to this.
I do too.
Why can I not think of the answer to this?
I'm gonna look it up. I can't do it. I need to look it up.
Look
This
it
is
up.
gonna bug
And
me.
while you're looking it up, I noticed that Arcee has metal boobs, and I thought that was kind of funny. Just in true, like, animation fashion, if there's a female character, you have to give her boobs or make her pink or whatever, and I'm like, "She's a metal robot, why does she need boobs?" Like, she's not feeding kids through her boobs, is she? That would be
No.
weird.
No.
Why does she
No.
have boobs?
Because it's a female and they've gotta make it known somehow, I guess.
I don't know. I think that's silly, but
It
I'm
is.
also not a very good example of gender conformity, so
I mean, like 90% of this species is technically male. They don't really have genders. They're technically a genderless species,
that's kind of what I assume.
but like genderless default. Yeah. They're actually in the comics there are trans characters where
Ooh,
they go off to different planets and find species that do have genders and decide, I want to do that. I like that.
that is so that's so gender of them.
Exactly.
Like, observing something and being like, "Ah, yes, I want to become that thing." That's so gender.
The two that I'm thinking of in the comics, their names are Lug and Node. They're archaeologists,
Ooh,
um, or one of them is, and I think the other, I don't know what the other one does. They dig.
Uggs.
She digs. Uh, but they they're off to another planet and they find, species with gender and they're like, we want to be women. Nice. So they are trans lesbians and it's beautiful.
Yay. I assume there's going to be a lot of gayness in the show. I'm excited for that.
Yes. Absolutely. There's one character in particular I am so excited for you to meet. Ah,
Is it B? I hope it's B.
no, it's a character you haven't met, but you will understand as soon as you meet.
Human or
It's
robot?
Divine Right, by the way.
Oh, right, right,
It is
right.
a robot.
That makes sense. It is a robot. Okay.
It is a
A
it is a
robot.
robot. Several of the robots act very um
Well, yes, of
but
course.
yeah, Divine Right. That's what it's supposed to be. I'm gonna find where we were. Oh, you were talking about the fact that Arcee has metal boobs.
Yes.
Oh,
I mean,
it's such a weird design choice.
get it because animation, and that's how that works.
Right.
But if they're meant to be genderless beings, like, I guess how do you convey that, really?
Yeah.
Because they have humanoid shapes, and to have a humanoid shape, in a sense, is to have a gender or whatever you want to call it, unless you're like fully androgynous, in which case that's also gender
Right.
because what the fuck? I don't know. I don't know if what I'm saying makes sense.
No, you're good. It does. It's just very funny that it's like, yeah, give the female one boobs. It's like, dude, they don't need those.
The male ones don't have dicks, so I guess that's not an apt comparison.
But anyways, so Ratchet says the first Decepticon activity in 3 years. This means that someone had to have taught them about years and human measurements because they use completely different measurements. So I'm just imagining the military having to essentially go through like elementary school.
You said they had a babysitter. Is their babysitter human? I guess is the question.
Yes, the babysitter is human.
So maybe it was the babysitter.
It's just really funny to me. It's like, okay, I have to tell these robots that are so much older than me about what a year is, about what feet are, inches, yards.
Maybe they use the metric system. Is this in America? Does this take place in America?
Yeah, later Jack says Jasper, Nevada. So they are in Nevada. Nevada. Now I don't know how to say it correctly. Frick. Um,
I said Nevada.
but it makes sense because, it's empty, like Nevada.
Right. That's so sad.
It is very empty out here.
I mean, it's desert, right? You're in Arizona. That's different.
I mean, I've driven through parts of Nevada. Honestly, when you get to Nevada, Arizona, New Mexico, eventually the landscape all starts blending together. It's all beige and rocks. Bumblebee looks so scared as they're walking into the pit.
He's a child. He's a baby. That's why the kid can understand him because they're both children.
They're both It's funny because Raph is older than you think he is.
He looks like a fifth grader. How old is he?
So they do mention it. I'm wondering if I should tell you now or let you find out.
No, you should tell me now. How old are they? Because they look young.
So Jack is 16,
Okay, that makes
Miko is
sense.
15,
That makes sense.
Raph is 12.
Ugh, I would put him at 10. Okay.
He's 12. Which, for context, is the same age as
He's not 12.
12.
He's 4.
No, Cora's 12.
I know. I know.
So they find Cliffjumper's horn, and
Mhm.
Ratchet just, checks for life signals because apparently that's something that you can track, I guess. I'm not gonna question their technology. They're
Maybe the
robots.
energon? I don't know how robots work.
It's something about their sparks, I guess. Their spark is like their heart and soul. So we get Soundwave, which the
It's
Soundwave looks
okay.
very different from every other Soundwave in existence. We get Soundwave showing Starscream, "Hey, so we found another one nearby. What do you want to do about that?
Let's go kill that one too.
Let's go kill that one too." We get Cliffjumper's beautiful eulogy as performed by Optimus
Yes.
Prime.
Yeah, that was the moment that I knew that Prime was Wu from Ninjago.
Yeah.
Like, even their voices. Like, I haven't seen Ninjago in a minute, but, like, I was tempted to look to see if the voice actors were the same.
I will tell you it's not the same voice actor because if Peter Cullen voiced Sensei Wu, I would have lost my mind.
No, they're not the same. Paul Dobson pieced Wu.
We we learn Arcee has terrible coping mechanisms because if we just ignore the feelings, shove them down, and cover them with work, obviously nothing can go wrong. Out while we were watching that how does she drive off? They're on a cliff, aren't they? Like, where does she drive off to?
Yeah, I don't know. Like,
Did you just drive off the cliff? You're not cliff jumper, RC. You're RC. Like,
the whole, like,
you're good.
mechanics
No.
of that was a little bit strange to me because
Yeah.
first of all, her rider is a hologram. Can you even, like, do that when you're moving at, like, car driving speeds? Is that even a thing? Does light work like that? I don't know how holograms work,
Me neither.
but that was something that I questioned.
I mean, I guess it could. I mean, hologram humans are a pretty common thing in the franchise, and we just kind of went, yeah, sure, whatever. You're advanced alien species.
Oh, that's
Sure.
true, I didn't think about that. I forgot that they were, like, super cool.
We then get Optimus's equivalent of telling Ratchet, "Shut up, I don't care about your opinion."
Which part was that?
So Ratchet saying, "If we continue to protect humanity as aggressively as we are, more people we're just going to keep dying."
Right.
And Optimus says, "Your opinion is noted," which is essentially his
Yes,
version of
that.
saying,
That was so funny. I laughed.
"Shut up, I don't care
Yeah.
about your opinion."
I mean, like, Ratchet is right, though.
He is right.
Like, that's the whole paradox thing. Like,
Yeah.
you come to Earth, you bring your war to humanity. So if you leave, like, your war goes with you, but your thought is, "Oh, humanity's in it now. We have to stay and protect them." And in reality, it gets in a weird paradox of, like, you started it, and you have to continue to protect them, otherwise they're all gonna die, but really it's your fault they're all dying. That was so deep, I'm sorry.
No, you're good, you're good. The Decepticons ended up on Earth first, and then Megatron was kind of like, how can I either use this planet to uh, rule my own planet, or
Mhm.
if that doesn't work, how can I rule this planet? Uh, so
Got
then
it. I
the
didn't know that.
the Autobots kind of, yeah, they came in and were like, "Hey, stop."
Are there more
Um,
Autobots somewhere, or is it, like, just those 5?
yeah, so they're scattered all over the universe because of the war. Because they,
Okay.
long story short, their planet like died, You're gonna learn more about the logistics of that later, but I'll leave it at their planet, like, died. So everybody is scattered everywhere. So there are more Autobots. They're just elsewhere, also fighting Decepticons who are also elsewhere.
Far, far away.
We get Jack, the stereotypical fast food worker teenager, who is the white bread of characters. Let's be real.
Always the same, always good. Like, I don't know what you think of white bread, I can't eat bread.
Well, I forgot about that. Um, I mean white bread as in, like, he's just so very default.
Got it. That makes sense. Black hair, tall and
His
lanky. Yeah,
Yeah,
I get it. I understand what you're saying. Your typical teenage boy protagonist.
exactly. Anime protagonist default starter.
Anime protagonist default. Yeah, accurate. Kind of a loser kid.
Uh,
Yeah,
yeah. He has
that's so
great come
sad.
he's got great comebacks, terrible attention span.
Yep.
Just like,
Left the food on the counter for 2 seconds. They stole
yeah,
it.
"We're not as funny as we think we are. Combos with a side of bite me," and then stupidly turns away after he puts the food on the counter.
Right. Like, I was literally sitting there like, "What are you doing?"
Right?
Like, they were fully bullying him too, like, and he was prepared for it, so this has
Yeah.
happened before, and man's just left the food
Oh,
there.
absolutely. It's like,
Gonna lose his
how long have
job.
you been working here? It's obviously not long enough.
Yeah.
So we have it's funny, I didn't make any notes about the weird moment he has with the bike, but I think that's just because I've watched enough times and I'm like, I don't wanna comment on this. But you're right, it is
Right. Arcee was like, "Alright, let's fight." And then the stupid kid was feeling her up. One of my notes is literally let me find it. Bro's really feeling up a robot bike. That was my note. Like, I know it's not
it
weird.
is weird.
Like, it wasn't anything weird. It was a little
It was
weird,
weird.
but, like, if I saw something cool, I was really interested, I would do the same thing. Like, if you handed me a dinosaur plushie, I would also stroke it gently, but, like,
It's
that's slightly different because it doesn't have a consciousness.
exactly. Oh, so
That was so weird, I'm sorry. There's probably fan fiction for that, which is weird because he's a minor.
n thankfully, there isn't. That doesn't exist, and I am so grateful it doesn't
That's
exist.
awesome. I guess they focused on the robots, so that's good.
So there are in other movies, technically, some of the robots and humans get together, but the humans are all adults, so I don't care that much, but also it's still weird to me.
I mean, it is still weird, but, like, you're an
You're an
adult,
adult,
you can make your own
make your
choices.
decisions, right?
I'm still gonna judge you, but
Right. Arcee
yeah.
sees the 2 cars like, "Hmm, twins," as if that's like, "Oh, obviously they're Decepticons." I'm like, twin cars would be freaky regardless if they were aliens. If I saw 2 of the same car driving directly next to each other, I I might just leave the state. I might just, like, pack up and go.
Yeah, that's a little questionable. I mean, like, she knew they were Decepticons, right? But she couldn't do anything because the kids were there.
Yeah, it's more of, like, if I was just a random human bystander and saw twin cars, I'd freak out regardless.
Oh, same. Actually, I probably wouldn't. I'd probably be like, "What the fuck? That's weird," and continue about my day. I'm so unbothered.
I don't know about freak out, like, "What the fuck? What is that? Am I in a horror movie? No, fuck, I don't wanna be here.
Am I in a
I'm out."
horror movie? I don't watch horror movies, they're scary.
Me neither. I can't stand this is coming from the person who got scared of freaking Jurassic Park in middle school. So, yeah, no, I don't watch them
Listen,
either.
you in middle school, you were
We're
having
not
a
gonna talk about
time,
it.
all right? And part of it
That's
was
what
my
will
fault.
happen.
Uh, one of my notes is she's really punching him like a human would. Like, that was interesting to me in the sense of like they're autonomous robots. They probably wouldn't fight like people, but they're also humanoid in a sense. So like during the
Yeah.
animation, they probably used like references of real people fighting. So that was something
Yeah.
that I caught me off guard for a minute, and then I was like, "Oh wait, that makes a lot of
Yeah.
sense actually."
Yeah. Backing up just a smidge, I think it's very funny that she named her hologram.
It is. It is.
She's like, "Take 5,
What was his
Sadie." I'm
name?
like, "It was Sadie." It's like, "Take 5, Sadie." I'm like, how much time do you have for you to decide to name your hologram? It's not like anyone's gonna ask you.
If their entire life for the past 3 years was them just driving around the country looking for energon, like,
Fair.
you're spending a lot of time with your hologram because people are gonna freak if they see a motorcycle just without a rider.
Right.
So,
I wonder if it's just a thing of, like, just has to talk and hope people believe that it's coming from her, just like, "Yes, it is it is Sadie. I am Sadie. Ignore the fact that my head doesn't move. I am Sadie."
and my one position is here riding the bike, and I also don't put my foot down when I stop.
Nope, just ignore that. It's fine.
One of my notes
I
is,
love
"Ah, yes, obliterating all of the street rules." It's like they're just fucking around in the road. They're not, like,
oh,
following traffic
oh,
lights or anything.
oh, it's so true. Jack is, so we get Jack being terrible at socializing and Arcee being
Right.
sick of it.
Yeah.
It's like, get your shit together. I'm in danger. I'm about to get shot at. So
Mhm.
Jack now gets abducted by a motorcycle and
Right.
is not okay with it.
Yeah. One of my notes is RC definitely does not like the kid. Like, that's kind of the vibe I got with her, was she was so done with humans, and she just wanted them to go away.
Yeah, that's definitely the initial feelings. They, bond because it's a kids show, but at first it's definitely like,
Mhm.
stop. You're stupid. Stop.
Bumblebee loves his child. Raph,
Yeah.
that's his name, he loves
Yes.
him.
Absolutely. I think it's hilarious that RC tells him, "Do not let go," as if any functioning human being is gonna let go on a motorcycle that is driving at fucking who knows how fast.
Yeah, I mean, silly, but I understand.
Yeah.
Listen, when you work
Oh,
in retail, you no longer think that common sense exists.
that is so fair. Honestly, it's really fair.
I've been in retail for 6 months, and I have given up the majority of
Oh
my
no.
hope in, like, the average person.
Oh no.
It's bad, but it's
Oh.
okay. We survive.
Oh, so when RC first takes off and, 2 Decepticons try to, s- you know, uh, drive together and, I guess, smash her or whatever.
Kill her.
Yeah.
Mhm.
There is no way that Jack's legs did not either get scraped to all hell or completely fractured. There's
Oh, they
no
fully should
way.
have gotten crushed.
Yeah,
Because we heard the sound of
yeah.
the bike getting squished in between the
Unless his
cars.
legs just decided to, stick out straight in front of him, which no one does that.
Oh, and he doesn't know RC. He wouldn't have the wherewithal to be like, "Ah, yes, RC is going to do this, so I need to move my legs before they get mangled."
Right? Dude has fractured femurs.
It's bad. His legs should be broken.
Absolutely. The "I don't exist. Tell anyone about me, and I will hunt you down." Alright, fair enough. But also,
What the
16-year-old
fuck?
scared of a motorcycle.
Right. That was like, I'd be freaking. Like,
That's fair.
if that were me, I'd be losing it. Like, talking motorcycle, what the fuck is that?
Look, this thing is possessed. I need to go.
I need to see a doctor.
A doctor, an exorcist, which one? I don't know.
Both. Always both.
Both. Both.
That could get dicey, never mind. Oh. And then the girl pops up, I forget her name already, and is like, "Dude, what are you doing? You're an idiot. Go with her." And then Arcee is just like, "Ah, shit."
Ah, shit. I think
That
it's
was funny.
funny that so initially when they're being chased, RC is like, "Go, leave. They just want to, they're just after me. There's no way this can go wrong." And Starscream is like, "Psych! I also want you to get the human." And then she's like, "Ah, I have to go
Yeah.
save this child again." Jack saying, "I don't even know her," as if that's gonna help anything.
Right. Like, dude, there's fucking robot cars chasing you right now. And you think I don't even know her is gonna do it? You're gonna die.
Right?
They're gonna fucking run you over.
Right, seriously. The fact that they're on the highway, these are custom cars that have just guns, and everyone's just apparently fine with this, I
Mhm.
guess? That or they're all calling the cops from their own cars, who knows? But
Yeah,
it's just custom cars with guns on the highway.
that was funny to me. I mean, is the average person gonna do anything about it? Is the question. Like, if you saw a car with guns on the highway, what would you do?
I mean, I'd assume they were decoration, unless I saw them firing, and then I have no idea what the hell I'd do. Because it's just such a fucking weird situation.
It
Like,
is.
the other thing is they're, like, I don't know, they're energon blasters, which is like lasers, but robot, I guess. So I don't even know if I'd register that it was a weapon if it's just blue light from what it looks like.
Right. Right, because like,
Yeah.
I don't know, that'd be strange. Like, I feel like, at least from my perspective, if I was driving on the highway and saw a car that, like, had
Right.
some weird lights on it, I'd just be like, "Ooh, somebody, like, customized their car." There wouldn't be
Right.
a thought in my mind that, like, "God, I need to call the police. This is bad."
So then we get they're getting shot at, and I have a note that says, "Okay, I guess he would let go because he lets go of the handlebars to try to cover his head." Dude, that
Right.
is not it's not the priority right now. The priority is
It's
don't
not.
fall off the bike.
Right, because if you fall off and you're going that speed and you're not wearing any gear, you don't have skin anymore. Like, it will get rubbed off by the
Yeah.
well, I we already agreed that his legs should be mangled. Like, That guy should
Yes,
be either dead or in the hospital.
absolutely. And honestly, his face should be like, I'm surprised his face isn't like scratched all to heck
Right,
from
because
not
he
wearing a
doesn't
helmet
have a
because
helmet. Like, how could he have his
yeah,
eyes open at that speed? He wouldn't be able to.
no.
The
Like
inconsistencies.
inconsistencies. The adorableness that was friend of yours, family. That I loved that.
Yeah, that was cute. That was really cute. I feel like B is like the little brother of the group. I've seen one
Oh,
episode, so I can't
absolutely.
really be making assumptions like that.
You can.
I was like,
I think you can.
when they were fighting under the bridge, I guess, or whatever, I was like, "Oh, B is here. Everything is fine." And then he got his ass kicked, and I was like, "Oh, B is actually weak."
Uh, at times he can be. He gets, better, but at times you're like, "B, come on, dude."
Right. My preconceived notion of Transformers is vague knowledge that Bumblebee exists and is popular. So when I first saw him and he was so tiny, I was like, "Oh, he's tiny." Like that he's not going to be that cool. I mean, not to say that short people can't be cool and good at fighting. I don't know where I was going with this. Please tell me to stop talking.
It's alright. We'll move on.
I was confused as to why the kid ended up in the back seat when there clearly was not a back seat. Like when he opened the door, Raph was fully getting in the passenger side front seat. But when we see him when they pull into the bomb place, their base, he was in the back seat. It was confusing to me.
I think it's because Bumblebee's a coupe.
I don't know what that means.
2 doors, 4 seats,
Got it.
or 5
I don't
seats.
know how cars work. I'm
So,
sorry.
you're good. Some cars just have 2 doors, and you have to move the front seat back to get to the back seat.
That's tedious and
I do have a
annoying.
note about that later.
Oh,
It
great.
can be. My interpretation of so B's trying to, um, block the, block the cons as they're driving, like, he keeps driving lane back and forth, and one of them just comes right around and
Mhm.
like, hits him. It reminded me of, do you ever have, like, a family member, for me it was my dad, who would, like, pretend to try to hit, like, one side of your face and then would, like, hit the other? Like, not hit, but tap.
Yeah, I know what you're saying, like play fighting. That would be my brother and the aggressiveness with which we fight each other
Yes.
playfully. Yes, I
It's just
understand.
that's what that moment reminded me of just, "Oh, I'm gonna hit this out of your face." Bam, and he fell
Just
for it,
smacks
and
him.
the next note I have is only child behavior.
He's a baby. He's a baby. Bumblebee is a baby.
It is also only
He has
child
like
behavior.
30 seconds of screen time and he's already my favorite.
Honestly, that's that's exactly what happens to me with most
It's
characters
on
is I
brand
see
for me.
30 seconds of them. Yeah.
Well, you always like really obscure characters.
Huh?
And you always like really obscure characters. I feel like
I can't even
I feel
argue
like
with
that's how
that
you are.
because my favorites are you are very correct because my favorites are mostly characters that you haven't met yet in this show.
I mean, that doesn't mean they're obscure. I've seen the first episode.
No, I mean obscure as in some of them don't show up very often until very later season.
Makes sense.
Or it's Ratchet. I don't know why I like Ratchet so much.
Or it's
Love
Ratchet.
Ratchet. I can't explain it.
Oh, Ratchet gives Chaos Gremlin energy, and that's fully what is in my mind when I think of you. So,
That's fair.
it makes sense. That was not an insult. That was fully a
No, I know.
compliment.
I know it was. Poor Raph has no idea what's about to hit him. My question, why is
He's
he
like 8.
racing?
He's an 8-year-old.
Why is he racing near a highway? And did he not tell his mother that he was going? Or did they not notice he was gone?
His mom calls him and is clearly like, "Hey, come home for dinner," or whatever, and he's just like, "Yeah, I'm just out racing. Like, I'm just down the street racing. Give me 5 more minutes." And I'm like, "You're literally under an overpass. That is like a highway overpass, under the highway, next to another highway. What do you mean?" I was like, "Who's letting their 8-year-old just hang out there by himself?" I mean, he's not 8, we know that now.
Yeah. I mean, I still wouldn't love a child of any age sitting under the highway racing their car by
And it's a
themselves.
questionable place. I would love to sit under the highway as a child. That would be a
Absolutely.
great place for me to be. But yeah, it was strange. I was like, why is this guy's parents just letting him do this? And why doesn't he have any friends? Like, why was he on his own?
Gosh, that's sad.
I know. I was like, why is this little kid hanging out by himself next to a highway playing with his toy car? Poor kid.
Oh. Alright. We then get to Arcee's complete disregard for road safety as she drives off of the highway and into the
Oh
canal,
yeah.
where
Yep.
we add to the multiple injuries that Jack now has, which is either a fractured neck or at the very least a concussion.
Right. Of course. Jack is dead. He's dead.
Because this child is just not alive anymore. He shouldn't be.
When B stepped on the kid's car, the look on his face, he was
Oh,
so sad. He was like, "I'm so sorry."
the beeps were so sad too. Like it was so
I
adorable.
know. He was like, "I'm
Oh
so sorry I
gosh.
broke your car." The kid was like, "It's fine."
Oh.
I'm like, I would be crying if I was that kid. Like, you're sitting next to the highway alone playing with your car. You have an emotional attachment to that car, and it just got destroyed, and you just like don't care. I guess robots are cooler than your toy car.
I mean, you'd be a bit shocked if you saw robots.
I'd probably be in shock, yeah. I'd be sad.
I'd be sad
I'd
later,
be
probably.
sad.
Like I'd go home and
My
then realize,
car.
oh, my car.
That's yeah. That would be me. I'd be sad.
Raph has such a like he has a little nerd backpack and it's adorable.
He does. Also, where are all of these kids' parents? Where are all of their parents? Like, they fully just got kidnapped after school by some robot cars, and their parents just like don't care, don't notice,
Well,
nothing.
we know that Jack's mom is probably gonna be worried because he said he was gonna get off work, but she can, assume, he might have gone elsewhere after work. So he's 16, that's not as weird. Miko fully just
Right.
ghosts her host parents, just like freaking host parents? No. Goodbye. Ignored.
I don't know anything about their family situations,
Yeah.
but I was concerned.
Yeah, it's gonna get real funny as we go along because we learn more about their families and it is,
Oh
oh,
no,
very funny. My question,
scary.
so they start fighting. Why are the Viacons,
Right.
so they're the Decepticon like minions where they all look the same. They're referred to as Viacons usually.
Uh-huh.
Um, why are they so bad at aiming?
I don't know because they're villains, and so they can't aim for shit, otherwise the heroes would die, and that's not allowed. That's not the answer you wanted, but
Oh, that's so true. N honestly, that's That's very true, though. It's like, dude, there's 2 of you, there's 1 of her, you think you might be able to do
I mean, she's
something?
tiny.
No.
Like,
She's That's true. It is a small target.
it is. But, like, still, if your entire function is fighting in this war, how are you that bad at fighting in this war?
Exactly. I put
But
a note that says, "Arcee fights with little dog syndrome."
yes, yes, she does. She really, really does.
Just pure anger and no regard for what is quote unquote "fair."
Like, she's just like, "Ah, yes,
Oh,
twins. Let me go take these guys out." Like, "Baby, I'm sorry, but
by
you're not
myself.
that good."
I mean, she is very good at fighting, it's just hard when there's 2 of them,
And they're a
and they are
full 3 feet
so much
taller than
taller than
you.
you. Yeah. We get Bad Coping Mechanisms Part 2, This is for Cliff. Yeah, I'm sure that's not gonna go badly.
Yeah. Mm-mm. He was doomed.
How should I deal with my grief?
Ah, yes, let me use it as anger and attack people. That sounds
Yup.
like bad things waiting to happen. You're gonna get yourself killed.
It never leads to irrational decisions.
Never, ever, ever. That's how you become
Never.
a villain.
The back handsprings go hard, except I guess when they expose, your most vulnerable parts of your body,
Yeah,
just
yeah. Who needs a
fully.
spine? They don't have spines. They're not human.
No, not really. They have there's a whole list of anatomy that's kind of funny when you get into the
Oh,
names.
no.
He straight up jumps off a bridge and lands on top of one of them and punches the other, just fuck you and fuck you.
Yes. And then immediately gets the shit kicked out of him.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, we already
Poor
talked about
guy.
like
He's
him
just a
stepping on
little
the
guy.
car and such.
Yes.
The
That broke
thing
my
that's
heart.
it really is very cute. The way that his eyes are built, he can't close them. So the fact that his eyes are always wide open as he's getting pushed around and kicked is really funny to me. And I don't know why.
I need to look for that because that's hilarious. I didn't notice it.
It's like he's getting shoved around, but he's like his eyes just don't close. It looks very weird. And then he gets his face
Oh,
stepped
I'm
on
sure.
because revenge. And then we get
Yeah,
Raph saying, "Leave him alone." To which I wrote, "Raph, those are words too big for someone your size."
that is accurate. Like, buddy, what you gonna do? Like, they're giant
What are
robots.
you gonna do? The please is really what's gonna sell it.
Please, don't hurt my
Please?
guy.
Well, Jack's like, "Well, we're dead. Let's run into this, I guess, sewage pipe? I don't freaking know. Water pipe? I don't know.
Right.
What is
I
architecture?"
love how Jack immediately just like his focus is taking care of Raph.
Yeah.
Like, they clearly don't know each
I
other.
need to make sure this small child doesn't die.
At
Yeah.
least that was my impression. Right. He's like actually only 4 years older than this child who should be 10 and is really 12.
Yeah, it is weird that he's 12. They make a joke about it later, it's very funny.
Like, he looks like an 8-year-old.
He really does. I love that Jack just doesn't wanna ask questions. He's like, "The answers are gonna be more confusing than the questions I have. Let's just go and forget about this. Just go away."
Jack does not give a singular fuck. He just wants to live his life in
Exactly.
peace. They're like, "Actually, no, they're gonna
Yeah.
come after you now."
So Bumblebee's just being
Wild. Poor
like,
guy.
getting the shit beat out of him. It looks like a kid being bullied for their lunch money. Just
It really does. It really, really does.
we then get one of my
Um,
favorite moments where Bumblebee and Arcee for a moment like lean on each other, just like fuck, we're getting the shit beat out of us.
yes. It's
Oh,
like,
it's
"Shoot,
cute.
we're screwed. Where's the other guy whose name I already forget already, and you just told me?"
Bulkhead finally gets there.
Bulkhead. That's what his name is. I knew it was something about head, but,
Yeah.
uh
Bulkhead finally shows up and it's like, dude, where the frick were you? Traffic. Traffic? Sir, all of us just broke every traffic law known to man. I think you can get here
right.
faster. Run a few red lights. What are they gonna do?
Literally, you can just you can just
Honestly.
off-road. Like, unless you're in bumper to bumper traffic, you can fully just
Yeah.
drive off the road. You're a big ass autobot, I guess.
We get to we see the kids at school. And Jack is like, hey, Raf, let's just forget
Right.
this whole thing ever happened. Let's just not acknowledge it. And
Right.
Raph is just like, I'm gonna acknowledge it. I'm gonna
Right.
talk about it. Oh look, oh look, it's
Raph is
there's Bumblebee.
there's Bumblebee.
Raph understands Bumblebee. How? Who knows? We're gonna pretend it makes sense.
They're children. They're both children. That's my theory. They're both 8 years old. That's
Fair
how they
enough.
understand each other.
For a moment when he says, yours is over there. I don't know, for some reason he sounded British for like 2 seconds, and I was really confused.
I did not notice that.
Fair enough. Muscle car just runs off with child. No one calls anyone. No one
No
says
one cares.
anything. It's even with Jack running into the road.
Right. Like, nobody gives a singular fuck. Where are all of the adults? Who knows?
They don't exist. This is a Peanuts cartoon. Adults aren't real.
Right?
We get Miko, who is, daydreaming over a bike, as we all do.
Right?
Gets a call from her host parents. Just ignored. Why would I want to talk to you guys?
Right?
Damn.
Like,
Okay.
I get it. I get it. I would never, ever ignore a call from my parents, but I get it.
Well, that's the thing is it's not her parents, it's her host parents.
I don't. Oh, is she at a boarding school or something?
It's like an exchange program.
Got it.
But still, even then I wouldn't, but you do you.
Oh well, as long as they're not like gonna beat you, because that's a thing that people do for some reason.
It's because people are assholes. Uh Jack just does not want to get involved with this. High school is hard enough. I have a
Um,
job. I don't First rule of Robot Fight Club, you don't talk about Robot Fight Club. Okay, it's fine. I will ignore it and move on with my
one of
life.
my notes is Fight Club reference go burr. That was funny. I've not seen Fight Club, but I thought that was
Me
funny.
neither. Arcee does not know how to talk to short people because she is just fully knelt over, hands on the ground, in his face.
Yeah, RC, that's so disrespectful. You gotta be on one knee like you're proposing, and you sit up straight.
It's like that meme of how to talk to short people. Yes. No.
Yes. I said I don't like anybody in my face.
That's yeah. No one should be getting that close to my face.
Mm-mm. Not unless you have permission, and nobody has permission. Except for my dog. He can be in my face all he wants, because he's adorable.
Well, dogs are an exception.
Dogs aren't people.
Miko is apparently unfazed by everything in life and is just like, go with. Oh my gosh. Like, dude, what the frick?
She's just excited to be there. She's just all her dreams are coming true. That's what's
That
happening.
is what's happening.
She gives me vibes
You
of, like, she doesn't have any friends, and so when something happens, she wants to be involved. I'm so sorry,
oh
that's so rude.
gosh.
I'm a terrible person.
No, you're not. It's fine.
I know I'm not, because some of the people I work with are wild.
Retail be like that.
Listen, if I told to any of them that I was doing a podcast with you about Transformers, they would look at me and I don't know what they would do, but it wouldn't be good.
It's because they're boring.
They are boring.
Oh, very funny. They're driving back to the base. I can only imagine that as they're driving toward what looks just like a cliff to
Yeah,
these children, Jack is just like, oh shit. Oh no, we know too much. They're going to try to kill us. And then
right.
the door opens.
Because Jack is literally like, "What the fuck are we doing?" Because he thinks they're about to smash into this rock. And I'm sure Raph is in the car in Bumblebee, just like having the time of his life.
Right?
I'm sure they're just chatting.
Not realizing. Yeah.
Yeah, that's accurate.
Jack is kind of the meme of the one normal guy in a musical.
Right. It's just habit. That was weird to me.
Raph sitting in the back seat despite the fact that there's no adult to sit in the front and tell
I
him that he should
mean,
sit in the back.
that makes sense. Listen,
Bumblebee is a Bumblebee is a law-abiding citizen, I guess. Gotta make the child sit in the back seat.
B is just a good person. He's not a person.
It's a good Sabatronian.
What the fuck does that word mean?
They're from Cybertron. They're called Cybertronians.
Oh, listen, you said a big word and I was confused.
No, that's fair. So they're getting introduced to the robots, and for some reason,
Mhm.
Raph like extends his hand, like puts it out as if he's gonna shake their hand. Bro, whose hand are you gonna shake from all the way down there?
Right, like Optimus is literally like 20 feet tall.
He's actually a lot taller than so I've had to look this up for uh like a joke reason, but Ratchet
Mhm.
is like somewhere around 22, 23 feet tall. So Optimus is somewhere around like 40, 50 feet tall.
Bro, they are huge.
They're huge.
We need to know
He's
how tall he
massive.
is.
Oh,
Bumblebee.
it's somewhere like 20 or maybe 16 feet? I don't remember exactly.
16 feet.
He's small
Oh,
in
wait, that was in the
comparison.
movie.
Oh, I mean, it's probably about
Hold
the
on.
same. It's,
Google is not telling me the correct things. Oh, well, it's not important. I don't need to know.
yeah. The joke that Arcee makes of like, haven't you heard humans multiply? It's like, okay, thanks for that.
How much do you know about reproduction, RC? How much have you researched? I need to know.
I mean, if they've had to learn about humans and human culture, that had to have come up at some point.
Of course. I mean,
Miko then proceeds to play 20 questions with Bulkhead, who is completely stunned, no words, no thought. Why is there so many questions?
his name is Bulkhead. He's gotta be stupid. Not as stupid as Cliff Jumper. Like, why you jumping off cliffs, bro?
Raph is then asking, if you're robots, who made you? And Ratchet is just does not like these uneducated children. Like, how dare you?
He's so offended. He's so offended. Literally, one of my notes is bro got so offended at being asked how he was made. Literally, like the look
Yeah.
on his face.
Oh. He also, like, does this whole, like, oh, Like, if you were to swat a fly, just like, please.
Yeah,
Like,
I know what you're saying.
he's fruity.
He's fruity. Is that what you said?
Y Absolutely.
You know, are we talking about Ratchet still?
Yes.
Okay. He's had like 8 seconds of
I say
screen
that
time.
because it's canon.
Oh, that doesn't surprise me. Who does he end up with? Someone I've seen? I bet you
So,
I can
it's not
guess.
in this continuity that it's canon, but it's in, like, frick, what's the word? The comics. He ends up with a character that is not in this show named, Drift.
I would have guessed Bulkhead.
Really?
Yeah.
Most people assume Optimus because 'cause they're old friends.
Eh. I've literally only seen the first episode, so I haven't really seen them interact very much. I don't know. I feel like Ratchet and Bulkhead could have some chemistry.
Fair enough. Yeah. No, because the other character that most people ship him with who comes in later is pretty similar to Bulkhead. Just a little more off the rails.
I'm a god, essentially, is what you just said. My ego is not that big. Don't worry, that was fully a joke.
I was just asking what you said, but that's really funny. I do not believe that Optimus Prime can see the children past his chest. I don't believe it. There has to be a blind spot.
Doesn't he literally like get down on his knees? I vaguely remember that being a thing, but I
He
might
also does
be
that.
wrong.
Yes.
Okay.
He does the same thing as RC because Optimus also doesn't know how to talk to short people.
Well, if he's 50 feet tall and they're 3 or 4, the
Yeah.
older one's 5 maybe. That makes sense.
Yeah. It's just very funny of them fully almost lying down on the floor just to talk to these
You
children.
know, that's valid. It's terrible and entirely infantilizing, but valid. To be fair, they are children, so there's that.
Raph is asking, "Why were you fighting a war?" Raph, why are you asking these questions?
Because he's a baby.
What are you doing? But then immediate question after that, Optimus, why are you answering that question?
Because Optimus is Sensei Wu, and his goal is to educate and teach
About war.
about war to an 8-year-old, because why not?
Just telling the war stories. I do love the fact that they zoom in on his eye and it shifts as it fades into like Cybertron. Like that was very cool.
We love a good transition.
Yes. We then get a frozen war scene pan across everything.
Yay, war!
I wrote down I was thinking
Good.
when he said in the beginning, I just immediately thought in the beninging
What the fuck is wrong
a
with
lot
you?
of things.
I immediately thought in the beginning there was nothing.
I think of memes, you think of Bible.
I went full Christianity and you went full chaos.
I have something very interesting for
Okay.
you. So, when he says when he's talking about uh Megatron and
Mhm.
uh Soundwave, I'm going to tell you why Soundwave does
Okay.
not talk. So, the reason that this war even started was because the original government was they call it functionalism, which is essentially if you were created and your vehicle mode is a bulldozer, congratulations, you were construction for the rest of your life. You can't make that decision. That's your purpose and accept it. So
Yeah, that's all.
that's bad. There was also a lot of, I guess it's their version of racism, essentially, because there are different quote unquote frames, which just means that like some transformers fly and some of them drive, etc., etc.
Got it.
And you also have a caste system, which never goes poorly.
Yay.
Yay. So people weren't happy with this, obviously.
Right.
So we're going to revolt. Hooray. Huzzah. Problem. Uh, this old government would sometimes take a very Soviet Union approach to said uprisings,
Yay.
meaning that Soundwave, who used to be a gladiator, funnily enough, he changed he changed his armor once he joined the Decepticons because he does not look like a gladiator anymore. You might have guessed.
Right.
But he spoke out and yeah, no, his face got fucked up, which is why he has a visor now.
Yeah, that's kind of what I assumed.
But one of the things he said before that happened was he took a vow of silence because he wanted to prove that actions spoke louder than words. Because the
Oh.
it's called the High Council was the government at the time. They would say a lot of
Mhm.
things, like you know how it's like all talk. They never actually did anything. They can say all the things they want, but they never do anything about it. So
Right.
that's why he has the vow of silence and also no face. Well, he has a face. It's just kind of a little, a little mangled,
Mangled.
just a little.
Poor guy.
You get Soundwave telling Starscream that, hey, there's an alert coming from space about our space bridge, and I'm pretty sure that it's our leader, so you should open the space bridge. And Starscream is like, do I have to? Unless you're totally sure it's him. I really don't want him back here. I really hate him. I want to be in power. But he can't say that in front of Soundwave, so he has to mask it as I'd hate to waste the energon. And Soundwave's like, yes, it's him.
Right.
I'm never wrong. It's fully Megatron.
Right.
Like,
It's
fine.
fully Megatron, buddy. Why was he gone? When that happened, my note was Yippee Garmadon is back.
So he went to explore to find a way to destroy the Autobots
Oh, great.
for 3 years, I guess.
Bro's really taking his time.
He really is. So, in case you didn't know, Megatron has returned.
Hey, I kind of got that.
Just in case you didn't get it by him appearing, he also
Yes.
screamed it into space.
Real Thanos vibes there.
Also, when you get a close up on his face, his eyes are looking in different directions,
Oh,
which is a common theme for Megatron. Whenever he's yelling at somebody and you pause, you can see he has freaking chameleon eyes. Just one's looking north, one's looking west.
I mean, who doesn't love chameleon eyes? They're so cute. I just like
They really
lizards.
are. Love lizards.
Lizards are awesome. I have a lizard now. His name is Harley. I don't call him Harley because I did not name him. I call him Liz.
Mm, Liz.
Because whenever I feed him, I'm like, "Hi, Liz. How you doing?" It's just easier.
Oh,
Harley,
Liz like lizard. That just connected
yeah,
in my brain.
Liz like lizard. Harley is 2 syllables. That's too much work.
All right, and then we leave off at Megatron returning.
Yes,
Woo!
Gatron returned.
Next episode's gonna be so much fun.
It's gonna be terrible, isn't it? Everything will be bad.
Yeah. Well, bad in the sense that everyone is gonna be sad. So,
Does somebody else die? It's too
ooh,
early for that.
no, just more trauma.
Bold
It's okay.
move. Bold move by the creators for making the opening sequence being one of your main characters dying.
Honestly. So, we're gonna leave that there. Thank you for joining us at the McAdams Comlink. I hope you have a great day. Hope you join us again next time.